I think that, with the advent of things like, AI and virtual reality and augmented reality and the list keeps going on, automation and bots and so on, the thing that we crave the most is human to human connection. And so that is what came out of my second book when I did 150 different interviews to boil down the reason for why we share. And the number one reason that was glaringly, like the data pointed to the North Star, which is we share because we as humans want to connect. And so if that's our number one reason for being here, for existing, and for enjoying what we do every day, then I'm here for it. And I think that there's plenty of ways to do that, regardless of what's holding us back in all of these other challenges that we're facing.
Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life, we're gonna talk on business, you're gonna shine bright, we are gonna witness.
Shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, so why not optimize it? Just text OPTIMIZE to 72000, 72000 for instant access to 6 quick videos that help you think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer. A big thanks to Epic App, the 4-step storytelling system I use every day to connect and to convert. Try it free. Email me at stever1961@gmail.com. That's stever1961@gmail.com, and I'll get you the free app. Doing Business with a Servant's Heart was just named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Well, welcome everyone to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I'm pretty fired up to have you on today. You're going to want to listen because we're going to talk about human potential, human to human potential. And just so you know, in the green room before the show, we just did that, me and the guest. We've connected at a level you guys can't even believe. In 5 minutes, we're brothers. And that can happen so many times. That's what a servant heart does. So let's do our gratitude before we start the show. Today's gratitude is, you are amazing. The best is yet to come. And it truly is, especially January of 2026. You've got a great year ahead for all of you. With that being said, let's bring our guest on. Bryan, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you doing? I completely agree. That time that we just had off of before we got started just made me totally thrilled to be here, and even more so happy to share some time with you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, let's dive into that a little bit. What happened? You came on the podcast, before the podcast, we met, but we just started asking questions. You asked me a great question. I asked. We started talking and found out we went to high school in the same area. You're a lot younger than me, but that's okay. But we found all these commonalities. How important is that when we do it in business?
Well, I mean, in anything, I mean, you can't just narrow it down to business. People want to do. You've heard this. We've all heard this. People want to do business with people they like, right? And I think my best relationships and what's built my career, it was a friendship first, or a relationship that went deeper than anything. And I'm not saying that we can't build relationships that aren't business relationships and grow a business and so on and so forth. But the ones that lasted, the ones that continued to build all the Lego blocks on top of the Lego blocks and really built higher and higher, and then came back to surprise you with even more. Those were the relationships that were like what we just experienced before we got on, where you all of a sudden have that one moment and you go, oh my God, this is my person. This is who I want to get to know more. I can see us, and Steve, I can see us actually talking beyond this. That's the kind of relationship that I think goes to so many levels. I've got so many of those examples in my life. I think you probably do too.
Yeah, and it's powerful. But this is not always going to happen, and that's probably okay, right?
uh why not, right? Like there's different types of people, and there's different types of personalities, and when you look at the different ways that we operate, there's everybody's got their own archetypes. But when you look at, in air quotes, the archetype, everybody has a different level of engagement. It was what my second book was on, Shareology, was how do we share with each other. And when you look at the different ways that we all engage, we all are different, and so we have to be able to communicate with each other, and in a way that's going to be respectful, and that's going to be understood by the other person, because you don't want to cross boundaries, you don't want to cross somebody's ability to gain trust at their own speed. And so if we can understand what that is for them and get to know them on that level, it's gonna build that trust faster, and then we're gonna be able to actually get to the good stuff, that gooey, mushy center that we all want to get to.
Our word there is trust. It's the important thing. I mean, we build trust probably in 5 or 10 minutes. People will not argue, but go, how can you do that? Just being open, honest, ask questions and listen. That's a big part of that. I love Shareology because there's psychology, there's physiology, there's sciences. If I'm saying that right, you have a science of sharing. How can somebody build that science or be better skilled at Shareology?
Well, there's a couple ways of it depends on what the goal is, right? What is the impact that you want to have? So there's ways that you can approach it that helps people understand who you are. There's ways to approach it so that you understand who they are. The last thing you want is to get into a dance with somebody and have it not go anywhere because neither side understood the other. And so my favorite way of approaching it is through understanding what impact the other person basically has, discovering like what is the thing that makes them who they are organically. If we can understand who they organically are, then we have a much better way of understanding how to get into a relationship with them. And so, there's different leadership types or different personality types. My favorite type is the one that runs through, humor, beauty, charm, danger, intimacy, eccentricity, and intelligence. When you look at each of one of those, and I don't want to take up the whole podcast going through it unless you feel like that's valuable. Each one is basically how we impact each other. Humor is being able to weave into conversations seamlessly. Beauty is calm and cool and collected, and charm. We all know charm. Who doesn't know a charm? If you know a salesperson that's really good, they're probably good at charming people in a good way. Then you've got danger. It's not a bad word. Danger is somebody who can get in and get out very quickly. They're very direct. And then if you look at intimacy, somebody who is, well, I like to say intimacy, into me you see. Intimacy allows you to look into the other person, and those people like to go deeper into relationships. And then you've got eccentric. Those are nonlinear people that are very creative, and they like to think of the big picture and the vision and the creativity of the thing, but you have no idea how they got there. And so they're really good at dreaming up the thing. And if you follow their thing, it's brilliant. And then you've got intelligence, the last one. And intelligence is where someone is very linear, the opposite of eccentric. They like facts, they like direct, they like data. They like to understand that 1 + 1 = 2. Now, if you take each one of those and you understand the dynamics of each person and immediately identify with which one is them, now you can start to understand and mirror what is organic for them so that you know how to approach them.
Audience, we'll get his contact info. I suggest you reach out because those are perfect cliff notes. You gave us a good teaser, but I would reach out, and like I said, we'll get his contact information out to you. But I'd reach out and ask more questions about this because this will keep changing the game in your business. It's done it for me. I know talking to Bryan, it's done it for you. And I love this because it's fun doing this, isn't it?
Oh, every day and every minute I wake up, I'm so excited to talk about this and do this stuff. It really can be fun, and there's a lot of people who, let's be honest, they don't think that there's a fun side to building this. It's a real hard thing to be able to connect and develop a relationship. And here we live in the virtual world, where it's even a little bit more challenging. And so, I think if we can put a little dose of humanity into everything that we just talked about and everything that we can do, showing up as our real selves and giving a little bit more of what it is that the other person needs, like you said, through listening and understanding, it can start to really make it more fun for you.
Dose of humanity. Bryan, that's absolutely brilliant. You are a smart dude. That is just because you're not saying all of humanity, just a dose. Give them a little piece here, a little piece. You don't have to give up your whole life, your whole being. It's just, here's a great smile you had, or here's a little thing I thought about you. It's just like I did today, that little gratitude. It's beautiful. The other message you said before the show, we have to talk about. We have B2B, we have B2C. Everybody knows that if you're in business, but you came up with a third one I think is more important. Talk about that.
It's H to H, human to human. And it's something I'm very proud of, and it was a conversation that I had, or actually a presentation that I made to a group of executives in San Francisco. Almost 12 to 15 years ago. I can't remember exactly. And when I gave the presentation, the slide, "There's no B2B or B2C," was right stuck in the center of it, and in the heart of, or the middle of, when social media was just first taking off. And when we think back to that time, it was the floodgates opened up to the global geo fences being brought down to where we could globally connect. Brands didn't know how to communicate because now all of a sudden everything was made public. And all of a sudden we were able to talk with people around the world publicly. Whether you call it Facebook or Twitter or whatever the flavor was at the time. Well, nothing's changed. It's just that most of that's become table stakes now. We take it for granted. Back then, it was a whole different level of, what do we do with this? And I don't still think that companies are 100% getting it absolutely right. I think some companies get it better than others, and we're always a work in progress. So there'll never be a there. But at the same time, the reason that I think it resonated on that day in San Francisco at Bloomberg West, in right place, right time, I was given a keynote, and my friend Ted Rubin, who was mastering ceremonies for this conference, took me back to the screen and said, "Wait a second." And that moment was the moment that changed my life. And all of a sudden, everyone lifted their phones, took pictures, and within 48 hours, it got over 24 million impressions globally. And that spun out what then became the book, which happened. Thank God I had written about all of that stuff prior, so I didn't have to reinvent it all. But it was something that I had already was ingrained in who I was and what I was speaking about and thinking about, and doing inside of our agency. And so we quickly put together a book based upon all the writing that I had already done, and launched the book, and that became a bestseller. And we then started to grow it from there. And so I'm still living and breathing that today. I think it really matters more today than it did actually when I wrote it. I think that, with the advent of things like, AI and virtual reality and augmented reality, and the list keeps going on, automation and bots and so on, the thing that we crave the most is human to human connection. And so that is what came out of my second book, when I did 150 different interviews to boil down the reason for why we share. And the number one reason that was glaringly, like, the data pointed to the North Star, which is we share because we as humans want to connect. And so if that's our number one reason for being here, for existing, and for enjoying what we do every day, then I'm here for it. And I think that there's plenty of ways to do that, regardless of what's holding us back in all of these other challenges that we're facing.
COVID taught us HDH is very important because we're so isolated during COVID from 20 to 22. I think we're out of it, but who knows? But we learn isolation is not good. We need the HDH connection. We need that feeling, that emotion, good or bad. We still need it. We can't be isolated. So yeah, it's timing. And you're right. It's more with mental health and everything. HDH is even bigger with that because people are isolated in mental health, and that's where we get some of the issues that happen. So what I'm hearing from you, which I'm loving, audience, think about this. So I've got HDH, I've got B2C, and I've got B2B. HDH is really the bridge for both of those. Is that what that's what I'm seeing?
It's a yes and. That's a really good point. I actually don't hear that a lot, and I agree with that. It is the bridge. It's also, and I got called out by a lot of people saying, "What are you talking about?" B2B is different than B2C. B2B is business to business, and B2C is business to consumer. The process is different. Yes, it is. The process is different, but the customer still cares about the relationship. We all remember the experience that we had in a moment, whether it was B2B or B2C. We all want to hear the information unique to us. And in a relationship, like when you're in a store and you get bad service, or you're in a restaurant, you get bad service, or you're in a high $1 million approval process for a big piece of technology inside of a company, it doesn't matter. The feeling that person has on the other end, the relationship and the connection and the experience of the purchasing process is the same. And so that's what I'm trying to really make sure that everyone understands, is that everyone wants things to be presented or experienced in a way that's unique to them.
It's I'm rarely speaking. I say this all the time on my podcast, but you guests get me speechless, because what you're saying, and what I tell people, we're in the people asset business. If you're B2B, B2C, what's the common denominator? It's people. You're going to a customer trying to sell something, customers trying to tell you what they want, business is trying to sell to it. And we forget that that's the lowest common denominator. If you can succeed at that, you can be very successful in your business or your life, right?
Yeah. Amen. And you can do it one-to-one or one-to-many. There's a moment I had in my newsletter I sent out when I had a really large list at one point, at a different stage in my career. I had emailed out this big thing that I wanted to send out to 30,000 people, and I forgot to replace the tag name with the right tag so that it would insert people's names. So it went out to every single person saying "dear name," and man, I got crickets. Like, people were just like not responding, not clicking, not engaging. And I just worked so hard to put like something together that I wanted to really share out and offer up some value. And I send out an email maybe like 20 or 30 minutes later, after I had my mini chaos moment of like, what did I just do? And I sent out another email, and it said, "Dear," and I put the brackets, "dear name, ... just kidding. I know your name is Steve." And so I made fun of myself and said the thing that actually was on their mind, and in a way that they could laugh with me and at me. And I'm telling you, I got the most replies. Oh my God, this just humanized it. This just made me feel closer to you. This happened to me last week. I did this too. And so I'm not saying send out errors every week, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like these are the moments that happen in business every day. We fumble, we screw up, and how you own it and how you understand how to make light of it, use humor, use a little bit of whatever is needed to really humanize whatever it is that you're trying to say. That's going to connect deeper than the thing that you just did.
There's so much to unpack there, but the first thing I'm thinking of, a number of people would have sent back an email if somebody said something negative like, mind your own business, I made a mistake, leave me alone, type of negative attitude. You just had fun with it. And we talked about before the show in the green room, being humble and transparent, and how people draw towards you when you do that, because you become human, especially when you're super successful. I use The Rock as the example. Rock, if you want to be a sponsor of the podcast or come on, you're more than welcome. But I think of him as humble, super successful guy. And I just saw him at a Walmart. Doesn't matter what the store, but he walked in Walmart and 100 kids from YMCA, he gave them all gifts.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And here's the human experience that we take too deep. People have told me, well, yeah, he probably got got him for free. Walmart did it. I don't care how that transpired. He was H to H to those parents, because the stories I was hearing, hey, we weren't going to get gifts this year. We just stay at the lowest level. Just be human to human, right?
Amen. Amen.
And then I hate to get on a pedestal like that.
Right. We're talking outside in everyday life and outside of companies and customers, but also inside. When we look at, I coach a big hotel brand called Hyatt, and when they had a hotel in New York that had a tough time connecting with their operational costs and raising the value for their guests. And so what they did, instead of actually focusing on the customer first, is they focused on the staff internally. And then they looked at the places where they could create more human-to-human connection. They took it even a step further. They looked at the housekeeping staff, and they realized through the data and through the complaints that they were getting that the carpets were needing some help. And so they ended up replacing all the vacuums with high-end vacuums so that the staff had the very best vacuums. And they walked into those rooms and they were proud because they came in with not only feeling proud about being given this thing that they use every day that nobody ever thinks about, and they got to do the job that they were there to do. So they're armed with the tool that they were supposed to use. And the customer at the end of the day was happier because they stopped getting complaints about the carpet. So this affected everyone, all because of the simple act of creating a human-to-human approach to, let's serve our internal customer first, and let's give them something that's going to make them feel proud and excited to deliver.
I'm starting my year off with a bang having you on, because you're speaking to my heart of, and here's the ripple. And I was going to ask you a story and you read my mind. I guess we are aligned, because that's a beautiful story. Because audience, here's the thing. That employee gets that new vacuum. What do they do when they go home? They just got me a new vacuum. My job's easier. It's cleaner. It looks better. Well, those people, family, son or husband, daughter, they go to a party. Oh, my wife works at Hyatt. Oh my God. And it starts rippling the HTH marketing effect. Well, I'm going to look at Hyatt before I'm going to look at Marriott because of that story. This is the power of HTH, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Oh my God.
It goes beyond thinking about it as just you've heard it, the transaction, right? Transactional relationships. The moment that you can take it to a relationship, to an actual relational exchange of value, then now people want to stay. Now people want to deliver. Now they want to create something that's unique, and they want to perform better. So why not? I mean, the dollars and cents always make sense.
And the cost of those vacuums made them 10 times their money. I
Oh.
can guarantee. Well, you were there. You saw that. And 10,000, I don't know what they paid, but it was just vacuums. But it wasn't just vacuums. It was H to H connection, helping. I talk about bringing value to people every time you meet them. I want to be the best podcast host, bring the most energy, and you as a guest, and so powerful. Can I ask you a favor? Because we come to the end here. I'd love to come back for a sequel. We have much more to cover on this.
Oh, I would love it.
Beautiful.
I love it.
I know I put them on the spot, audience, but I kind of knew what the answer was going to be. Anyways, so let's end with a fun question. Get to know you a little bit better. So I'm going to go, you're going to reserve, or I'm going to reserve a table at your favorite restaurant. I want you to invite 3 people that have been influential in your life, and it could be whether dead or alive, doesn't matter, or fiction, somebody that's influenced you. But Bryan, the most important question is, what food would you order for me in the table?
Okay, so 3 people that I'd invite. One, my grandmother, who turned 101 this year. I got to go to her 100th birthday last year, and I took a picture of her laughing. That just melts my heart. She was an incredible lady who has traveled the world, and I could keep going. Anyway, she just passed on Friday, and we understood and knew that this was coming. But she just is top of mind for me right now. So I have to invite her to the table. You said dead or alive. The second person would be Tom Hanks. I love the way that Tom Hanks tells stories. I like the way he approaches his characters. I love how he weaves different topics into how he approaches things. And then I love that he actually owns one of the most incredible typewriter collections of anyone out there. All the different old typewriters. He's got like a wall of typewriters, and I am infatuated with typewriters, and because of the organic nature of what a typewriter used to do. So, and then the third person that comes to mind is I would have to say, because I only get 3 people. The third person is going to be my I'm going to say my dad. My dad is would sit there beaming. He contributes. He's a lifelong best friend, and he always shows up with jokes and just a way of bringing intelligence to the conversation. He's an incredible teacher. He taught at Stanford for years as a teaching doctor, and he loves teaching, and he's really good at it. So I'd have to say he'd be my third person. The food that I would order would be sushi. It's my favorite food. It's going to be my last meal. It's my every meal, and if anybody ever says sushi, I'm in.
You're in, okay, and I like it. That's what's your grandmother's name?
Her name's June Davis.
June, shout out to you, June, because whatever you did for Bryan, he's a beautiful man, and kudos to you, and RIP, and I'm praying for you and your family. That's just, if we can live 101 years, we've been blessed. Well, Bryan, you've been an incredible guest. I know for me, you've changed my life. I know people want to reach out and connect with you. How can they do that?
Well, you can just email me directly if you like. It's Bryan@bryankramer.com, Bryan with a Y. My mom made it with a Y because she said a Y would make your name unique, and I want you to be unique. So there you go, Bryan@bryankramer, KRAMER.com. Or I also write a weekly magazine article on Substack, and if you just search up Bryan Kramer, you'll find me there. My new website will be live here in the next week. So by the time this airs, you'll probably see my new site at www.bryankramer.com. And if you email me or sign up or reply, who would I be if I'm not the H2H guy if I did not reply? So you're going to get a reply, and it'll be unique and fun, and we'll have who knows, maybe we'll actually have a conversation like real humans do.
And H2H makes it simple, just like you did. Made it simple for people to connect. And where can they get the books?
The books are on Amazon, or you can go to my website, HDH and Shareology, both on Amazon or all the different platforms that you can buy books on. So they're easy to find, or you can just go to my website, click on books, and they're there as well.
I'm going to do something special because you've inspired me today, Bryan. Audience, I want you to listen carefully. The first 3 people that reach out, you can email them, connect them wherever on the website when it comes up, whatever. The first 3 people, I will send you one of Bryan's books for free.
Wow.
Because he will impact you. And books I've started reading last year. I'm going to do more reading this year. It does make a difference in our lives. So, and what Bryan will do is he'll reach out to me or give you my contact information, and you connect with me, get me your address, and I'll send you a book. Because I want to reward people that really are pushing this H2H. And I mean, push it. I mean, we need to push it, not just go, oh, it's a cool thing. It's not a cool thing. It's an awesome thing. And we can be incredible by doing that. And subscribe to podcasts. It could be mine or somebody else's. And here's a perfect example why. These are gifts. And if you're listening to this and you're talking to somebody that says, I'm not connecting with people, or I'm struggling with people, just that, send them the link. Let them listen to Bryan for 10 or 15 minutes. And if he impacts them, maybe he reaches out, or maybe he learns something and becomes better at HTH. Don't you think that's a gift? With that being said, me and Bryan want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.